the administration of this what? Service. And this service not only supplied the want of the saints, but is abundant also to many thanksgiving unto God. When we open our heart, allow God, watch this, when we open up our heart and our mind, we begin to see, watch this, God interacting in our lives, providing us with blessing and resources and gifts and talents and ability. And God says, I'm placing a demand upon you to release what I poured into you so that you can be a blessing into others. And this is how I get it into the world. And as a result of your faithfulness in trusting God, many will bring thanksgiving back to God. When you give to the poor, they will tell, Lord, I thank you. When you meet the homeless and bless them, they say, God, thank you, somebody came my way. When you give to those that are in, they'll say, Lord, thank you that you heard my prayer. When we get in agreement and work with God, allow God to bless us and not be selfish, we can now experience the abundant blessings of God flowing through us into the lives of others. Y'all remember the story over in Luke 12. Luke 12. And it talks about, this is God now. So teach Pastor. God says, I just told you about the seeds, didn't I? God blesses us with the seeds. Follow me now. Watch this. In Luke 12, the Word of God says that, and there was a certain rich man whose seed from the earth brought forth abundance. And the rich man said, ooh, look at this harvest. And he said, look, we got a bumper crop. And he said, I have a bumper crop. And he said, I know what I'm going to do. Now, wait a minute. It is God who gives seed to the sower. Deuteronomy 8, seed time and harvest. God is the one who brings it all together, seed time and harvest. So here's what he did. He said, I'm going to tear down my old barns because I got so much, y'all. And I'm going to tear down my old barn, and then I'm going to keep all of this for myself. And God said, thou fool. Which means that he didn't believe in God. Which means that he was not putting his eye on God. Which means that he was not trusting God. And then God looked at him and said, I done gave you seed in the ground. I've caused the ground to grow, and it has resulted into a harvest of abundance. And you're going to take what I've given you, put it in a new barn, all for yourself, which is more than what you need. And God said, today your soul is required of you. Why? Because he stopped the flow of God from going out into the world and God getting thanksgiving. So what should he be done? I'm glad you asked. What he should have did was like David in Psalm 23. When David said, my cup runneth over. All of that is for what's this? When everything in the cup is more than enough for you and me. All the excess belongs to others. God knows how to bless us with excess so that we can have a life that's overflowing and blessing others. Do that make sense? Yes. And in the text, he said, fool, this night your soul is required of me. Why? Because you will stop the glory of God through not being generous and sharing with everybody. All throughout the Bible, you will see a great precedent on giving. I know I don't preach much about how to get wealth and grow, but I preach more about how to glorify God through our giving. How to be in obedience with God and allow God to be God and receive the glory because we're faithful to him, because God is faithful to us. So how do we do this? I close my book. It's in verse 7 through 10. He says to us real quick, it's in the text, you don't have to run in Galatians, in the text. Look what he says. He said, don't be deceived, God is not mocked. Yeah. Keep growing. He says you can sow to the flesh. He says you're going to reap things of the flesh. It's going to dry up. It's going to rust. It's going to rot. It's going to fade. It's going to deteriorate. But you can sow in the spirit. Sow to yourself the spirit. What's that? That is understand and be obedient to the leading and guiding and prompting of God. And then he says to us, he that soweth, watch this, to the flesh, he's going to reap those things that are not everlasting. But when you sow to the spirit, they will be everlasting. But then again, he challenged us in verse 9. Why? This is the teacher. Paul is teaching. He's shifted now. He's shifted. Why does he shift? He shifted because when you're focused on what God say do, when you're focused on what God has called us to do, you don't have time for all those distractions in life. And so he said, if you keep going, you won't be caught up in all these other things, all this other teaching, and all this other foolishness. That's why Paul just kept going. That's why Jesus taught us, he just kept going. He did not stop at every juncture and put up with people, and he didn't try to put out every fire. He just kept pounding and doing what he do. What he do? He teach, he preached, and he healed. That's what he did. Here are the three things that I'm through. I promise you, I'm not going to do an exposition on it. When you get to verse 9 and 10, and especially verse 10, he said, let us. You see that? He's inclusive. This is the teacher saying, come on, let me show you how to do it. I'm not sending you, but let us do it together. St. Matthew, let us do it together. Let